everyone, this is Sunniva.
And this is Johannes.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And welcome back to Topical Ramblings, which is a
hello there.
Video series we did for quite a while back. And we have wanted to do it ever since. And now we took a hard look at how we wanted to do our content forward. And Topical Ramblings was one that we wanted to bring back because we just like discussing things. We like talking about things and then again getting your insights on it and getting to talk more about the gaming and the hobby and all the industry, which people using to say that word.
The industry.
That is what we're going to do. And this video today is going to be on a topic that many people have been talking about and the internet have been talking a lot about, and that is about paid content and how we personally on this channel handle previews.
Yes.
It's all going to be about how we handle this on this channel and what we think. We're not going to talk about other channels. We're not going to talk about what other channels do because we don't know for most part.
Nope.
And also one thing you might think, this is kind of a cynical time to take this topic into the video. And in all honesty, obviously this was it was triggered by something to make this video now. It has been bubbling in the industry and in the viewers and all of that for a long time.
We have been setting up a list of topics that we wanted to talk about, and this was one of the topics, and now it seemed very, very relevant, and it is a very important topic.
Yes. We're also going to do a separate video on hype, bias and honesty in board games media. That's going to be another video hopefully in a week or two. I'm saying that now so that you can hold me accountable that it actually comes out and not in 2 years. So yeah, that's honest. We're making this video now because things made us think about this video.
Yes.
And that's also why we're publishing it now, because people are thinking about this. And I wanted to let you all know how we handle these things so that you don't have to wonder.
Yeah, I think it's nice to just have a disclosure out there.
Yeah, because we want to be honest. That's kind of the thing, and we're going to talk more about that in that other video. Let's start by this is going to be we have two concepts or two topics. The first is going to be paid content, what we feel about paid content, how we handle it, and the other is going to be because a while ago we changed how we did previews.
Yes, so we're going to talk more about how we do them now and what we did before, and mostly what we do now.
And maybe why we changed it.
Yes, that's true.
So let's start talking about the paid content. I feel and it's kind of hard not talking about any of the honesty and all of that.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of murmuring out of the internet now that all board game media is paid for and reviews can be bought and all of that. And as I said, we cannot talk for anybody other than ourselves. So let's first ask you a question. Have we ever gotten paid by somebody to make content?
I thought no.
Yes.
I was serious.
I took all the money.
That's why there's so many board games. That makes sense now. But actually, we've done it once.
Yes.
Yes.
We were in that we were in a limbo between the ways we were doing previews, and I was okay, we're gonna do playthroughs now, and that makes sense to get paid for. We're gonna talk more about what I think makes sense to get paid for. And we did, I think, one, maybe twice. We did we got something. I don't remember what it was. It was not a lot. I think it might have been $60.
Yeah, that's
something like that.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot of money for making a playthrough video if you're first going to start taking money for it, but that's another discussion, which we're going to do in this video. The last thing I want to add in this video, which is not on the list.
It's the last thing?
No, but not on the list.
Stay tuned, it's not the last thing.
No, you can see that by the video, but the video is still 25 minutes long. I don't know.
Going to talk so much about this last thing.
Yes. No, the last thing is sponsoring is the last point on this one. I'm actually going to write it down here
so that we remember.
Sponsorships. Okay, next up is another question for you. Will we ever do paid content?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe if we're starting doing playthroughs, this is more about what we should take money for, we feel personally.
Yeah, basically, what I'm thinking.
What did you want for an answer? Because you have written these questions.
But I didn't write the answer for you.
No, you didn't actually.
No, I'm thinking I don't think it's a bad thing for people to get paid for the work that they do.
I agree.
I think the problem for me, and we're going to talk more about this, it's kind of like hard to make these videos separate.
Why did we have like these bullet points?
No, I'm thinking like the separate video. Because they are interchangeable. So I'm just going to talk about what I feel here, and then we're going to talk more about that specific thing in the other one. Because this one would have been like an hour long if we were going to do the whole thing. So I think that getting paid for what you do or what we do is not a problem as long as we don't get paid for giving an opinion.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the bottom line. It's very simple for me. It's basically that. Getting paid for doing a overview video, which is obviously made as an ad. Not like a sketchy almost review, which we have done, and we're going to talk more about that. And then, of course, how to play. Like, watch it played. That's how he makes his living. He's making tutorials, and it makes 100% sense that Rodney is getting paid to make videos that teach you how to play the games. And playthroughs might also be sponsored because many people, more and more people, enjoy watching a good playthrough instead of watching a review.
Yeah,
and I think watching playthroughs is a great thing.
Yes.
And it's also more work. It's more work to learn a game, and it's even more important than to not make these like rules goofs that happens. I try very hard not to make that happen when we play games for review, but it happens from time to time. Still hurt my head when you go back and you watch your Heaven and Ale playthrough, which was the first video on Heaven and Ale online in the whole world. And the designer was like, it's a great playthrough, but this is completely wrong. I was like, oh, and that rule was like in an example. I was like, nah. But yeah, so that is even more. It's more work to make a playthrough. I think both in making it and editing and all of that. So I think that if we ever get like paid or sponsors for video, it's going to be playthroughs. Do you agree?
I agree.
Spoke a bit now.
Yes.
There you go.
I also want to like just specify that we are not doing any paid content now. No. We get copies for review purposes, and sometimes if we do like a Kickstarter preview or stuff like that, we will get like a pledge or something afterwards.
Yes.
So if you consider that payment, we're getting paid sometimes in some form.
Yeah.
But we are not treating it differently that we were probably gonna buy those games anyways. And sometimes to get copies fast, especially when I'm shopping around at Spiel, I have to buy stuff. Yeah, because I want to get the games.
Yes, I think for me very important, like when it comes to getting review copies, many people think, or some people think, that we make videos to get free games. And I don't mind getting a free game, but that's not why I make videos about board games. It's because I want to make videos about board games. And many times when I try to get review copies, I pay for the shipping, I can pay for half the game. I don't really care. I want to get the game faster than we can get it in Norway. And that is like the main reason for me to try to get review copies. And obviously, and this is like I think the core thing about review copies is that most people, and we are not like rich people, cannot afford to buy enough games to review on a channel that focuses on reviews. We are focusing less on reviews now. Still, I love reviewing games, so we are doing that. But if you want to review all the new games, you can't buy them all, basically. And if people want to see your views on the game, I think it makes sense, and it's good for everybody involved that somebody sends me the game so I can talk about it, so you can know what I feel about it if you care for my opinion about the game. Let's talk a bit about sponsorships, because that is kind of coming in many ways. And I see it's not that big in board games yet. Like I see like some doing like a sponsored video here and there for another product. For example, you can obviously do like a sponsor video that is sponsored by somebody who makes t-shirts with board games on them. That's not a problem at all, because that's not the company paying for something. It's basically just you paying for an ad. Somebody thinks that your channel has enough reach for you to make sense that you say something about the product, and maybe they will sell some product because of that. And that is unproblematic as well.
I agree.
And I never want to be like wearing a t-shirt with like 16 different logos and be like, you should buy all these stuff. But I'm not saying that we will never do
Yeah, but
any sponsor stuff.
Do you think it's different, like having a board game company that makes board game sponsors and having, like, for example, a tabletop, like the board game table or shirts, because we are not reviewing the table, or we are not reviewing I'm trying to come up with the words, the t-shirt.
Yeah,
we're kind of saying our opinions on it, but yeah, do you get like difference between
it's kind
those?
of I think that it's no going on, because you talked about something very interesting before we started recording this video about like influencers who makes ads in their videos, like but that's like basically marketing, and that's an ad. So I could make like a short video on YouTube, but it would be better for somebody to like put their product into a video to make it sponsored by that thing. Like you see, for example, Nostalgia Critic, Cinemassacre, all of those, who was huge on YouTube and is still huge on YouTube, but was there from the beginning, is using now like this is sponsored by ExpressVPN or sponsored by this and this.
But for example, Nostalgia Critic, just to take him as an example, he is not getting sponsored by Sony or 20th Century Fox.
Okay.
Or, like, you get the difference?
Yeah, so to answer your question, I'm not gonna... I don't think I personally would want... Let's say we were sponsored by a board game publisher.
Yes.
Let's say we were that.
Yeah.
Then I would, from that point on, could never post a review of a game they made.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Basically.
Yes.
Because I would then be working for that company.
Yes, and I've thought about this regarding our work at the Essenspiel with Forbidden Games that we have done, and then every time when we have had content for those games or talked about those games, we have made it very clear that we have worked for these people, so that you know
and
what the things are.
I think that is more into bias when you talk about that thing, so we're going to talk more about that in the other video.
That's true.
Not to stop you from talking about it, but I think that adding more into that part. Basically, bottom line, I think we agree on this.
I think so.
We don't mind people getting paid. We wouldn't mind taking money for non-opinion content.
Yes.
Like how to play playthroughs and all of that.
Yep.
We wouldn't mind. We're not trying to do it. I'm not like looking for sponsors and all of that.
No.
Because we don't do this for money. No, we do this because it's fun. And I don't want it to be a job.
No.
Because I have a thing where I make most of my hobbies into jobbies.
You do.
And this is also a jobby, but I'm trying not to... I don't know if that's a word, but I like it.
Oh, it is a great word.
Probably a word.
Yeah.
Probably somebody made that up before me. An Norwegian making an English word, that would never happen. But I'm really happy that we have the Patreon supporters.
Yes.
We get a little bit from the YouTube ads, and that money is basically just helping us buying games or helping us get a new camera if one breaks down.
Or traveling to Spiel and getting more games there.
Yeah, so it's basically I don't want to, or I don't need to, and I don't try to earn money, but I also don't mind getting that review copy or getting the Patreon money. That helps a lot to make running the channel smoother, basically.
Yes.
I hope that makes sense.
I think
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, let's go over to how we handle previews.
Yes.
Because before
previously,
we used to do overviews to have as little opinion in those videos as possible.
Horrible videos.
Well,
many of them were really bad.
Well, I thought they were nice, but they
not all of them.
They serve the purpose, but now we want to do it another way.
I just want to talk about to be completely honest. I never liked doing those.
No.
Because even we never got paid for them except for a couple of these playthroughs. I didn't feel like I could say everything I meant.
Oh yeah.
And then when we filmed them, I was kind of like, oh yeah,
can we say this?
And then we said some positive things.
Yes.
And maybe we didn't say the things that we didn't like and all of that. And I didn't like that. It didn't sit well with me. So we were moving to not really doing any previews, trying to do the playthroughs.
Yes.
And now we are doing it in a different way.
Yes, we are basically treating them as reviews.
And you might have seen this already.
Yes, you might have seen, because we've been doing this for quite a while now. And what you do is when you are conversing,
yes,
having a dialogue with
there.
the publishers, we put it very clear up front that we will say both negative and positives that we have, and like, are you okay with that? And everybody has been okay with our way of doing that.
Yeah, there's basically 2 caveats, which changes it from a review, which is we're not going to give it a rating.
Yes,
that's just something that we chose to.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I don't think it makes sense to rate something that isn't done.
Yeah, it's not finished usually when we preview the stuff. Sometimes it's prototype components.
Yes.
So every time when we do like a preview, I'm just like, oh, I have to rate this? I don't know, because I'm still like thinking it's hard to rate like finished games. So that will be hard for me.
Yeah. We're going to talk more about this in the next video. I'm just like letting you know, come to the next video as well. But we don't make many super horrible game reviews, but we have done them and we will do them. But the other caveat for previews is that we will not trash the game, because that doesn't help anybody, I think. And you might disagree on this point, but obviously it makes no sense for a publisher to send us a game that they want us to promote and then trash it. So basically what we say is that we are going to treat this mostly as a review. We're going to say what we like and we're going to say what we don't like. And if we either do not like the game at all, or it's really not for us, then we're just not going to make the video. It hasn't happened a lot because I try to like really be picky about the games that we choose to preview. But it has happened like 2 times, I think, after we started with this new policy. And then basically I said, yeah, we're not going to do this video because it's either going to be us saying fluff things, or it's going to be us making a video which makes no sense for the Kickstarter campaign.
It's sad for us to have to make a video like that also, because they're probably not gonna have it on their Kickstarter page. Like, look at this video, people saying bad things about your game.
But also that I think is very interesting, because it's really, I don't remember that. There was one preview we did recently, not recently, but where we were not like super glowing, but they still added it to the Kickstarter.
And
somebody was
really
like
nice.
saying like, oh, really like this being on the Kickstarter because it's not completely just positive.
Yes.
Which video was that?
I
don't
don't
remember. No, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter, but
Nothing
I think
really matters.
what I like about our new way of doing previews and also how we do reviews, like saying both negative and positive, is that something negative for me can be something really positive for someone else. If I say, oh, I really don't like this bidding mechanism, I hate that, or I don't really like this meanness in the games, I don't like that, but I like these other things, people can be like, oh, but I like that. That sounds like something for me. Or you know that, okay, maybe my taste is aligned with Sunniva's, maybe then I should maybe take a better look at this game and not get disappointed.
And I think one thing that, I think many things, but I think one thing right now, which I forgot because I was saying the other thing about thinking other things, I actually forgot it, which was, I was going to say, I don't know. I have no idea what I was going to say because my brain stopped.
Cool.
What do you want to say?
I don't know.
Okay, so the thing with previews, basically what I was going to say is that we usually a game that's going to be should be rated like a 3 or a 4 doesn't end up on our table because I read rulebooks, I do research before I say yes to something. So when it first comes here, it's like it's a small chance that we're gonna trash it. So that kind of thing of we're not gonna do the negative review of the prototype is mostly there for the publishers to make sense to send us the game, because it costs a lot of money to make the prototypes, to send them to us, and we want to like the game. Like, if we like the game, we want it to succeed. And we're going to talk more about hype on the other video, like the
hype, bias, something else.
Not by us, but like bias. Yes. Is there anything else? I think that's might be the end.
That might be the end.
Do you feel like we said what we wanted to say?
Yes. If you have any questions at all, please put them down in the comments. We are usually like forgetful in when we get a review copy to say like, this is a review copy.
We try to do it.
We try to remember it.
We mostly do it.
I hope we mostly do it.
I think we do it like 90%
but sometimes we
of the
forget.
time.
But usually, we're not getting paid anyway. So
no, that is
just have
true.
That.
We hope this video was informal. Not informal. That's the wrong word. Was informative.
Informative.
Yes, and
that's
if you
the word.
Enjoy our ramblings, or if you just tolerate us, then you can help us out in a big way, which is a small way for you, by giving us a victory point. And how do you do that? Over to you.
Yes, you can give us victory points by clicking the subscribe button down there. You can even click the bell to get notifications every time we post a new video. And please let us know what you think. Do you have any opinions on this matter? Please post them in the comments. We are excited to hear what you think about this.
And that is the end of this video. My James Johannes. I am Johannes.
My James Sunniva.
And you've been watching your Gimli Ramblings.
Yeah.
Bye.